Look at that gorgeous char on the top there. Hey, Joey Starr here for Star Quality Kitchen. Did you know that part of my ancestry is the idyllic country Portugal? Have you heard of one of their most popular pastries, PasteldeNata, aka Portuguese egg tarts? Do you know what I haven't had in like forever? Can you guess what I'm about to do next? Finding fresh Portuguese egg tarts is not as easy as finding, say, a slice of pizza. Well, I found what are regarded to be the best places to get Portuguese egg tarts within a 35-mile drive from Danbury. There are a few I would try in this video, and at the end I will let you know which one is best. So something I didn't really plan for is the fact that it is Sunday. I figure these places close pretty early on Sunday. Like some kind of amateur, I didn't check out the store hours before coming out. So basically what I did is I rushed to two places that I know are really good in Bridgeport, grabbed my stuff to go, and I brought it here. I'm actually filming in the Advanced Auto Parts parking lot. So first I stopped at Rikopan Brazilian and Portuguese Bakery. Beautiful looking store, nice size, huge bakery. I mean, the breads, the pastries, the cakes, and of course they got some basic groceries in there too. People are pretty friendly. I am a little rusty on my Portuguese, but I tried it out. They were very understanding and helpful, reminding me how to say certain things, so I appreciate that. And partially because I'm hungry and partially because everything looks so good, I picked up a little bit more than just the egg tart, but let's start with that. This is a lovely looking egg tart. I mean, take a look at that. Just the way you want. Nice flaky crust, and then you got the custard in the middle, got a little bit of a char in there. It's exactly how you want it. You want that little bit of that brown on there because that means it's cooked to a nice golden brown. Yeah, the aroma smells so good. Obviously made today, obviously made well. I'm kind of drooling a bit. Let me go ahead and take the first bite here because I am starved and this looks so good. Probably should have grabbed a napkin while I was there, but first of all, crust is perfectly flaky. Perfectly flaky. You bite into it, a little bit of a crunch, a little bit of a chew, a lot of flavor, kind of a almost buttery like flavor. The custard itself, beautiful, creamy, sweet, but not like, as they say, doce, not like that, not overly sweet, but pretty sweet. So delicious a bite. I'm telling you, it has been all but literally forever since I had this. I'm going to show you the cross section what it looks like. Because not everybody knows what Portuguese egg tart looks like. There's that nice, going to get that little squeeze. You just kind of see, yeah. Beautiful custard. I like it too because the outside is just, you know, room temperature, not warm, but room temperature. But the inside's nice and cool. Yeah, I got to take another bite here. I'm salivating. And when you're taking that bite and you have that combination of that smooth creaminess with that bit of sweet, with the flaky, savory crust on here. I mean, it just melds together so much. It just basically melts in your mouth. I mean, I gotta slam this down in like 1 or 2 bites, you know, lickety split, but I'm forcing myself to slow down so I can truly enjoy how delicious this is. A great job, Rikopan, however you say it. It's, to me, it's just another way to say delicious PasteldeNata. So good. So glad that I bought 2. Now, while I was there, and I was getting ready to place my order, I noticed a lonely piece of kiwi in the display by itself. It's the last one in the bunch. I know they're getting ready to close in like half an hour, and you know, that kiwi just looks so lonely. I said, you know, I have to rescue that kiwi. It's the right thing to do as a foodie and as a good person. So here we go. Huge. Look at that. Gorgeous freaking kiwi. I mean, this is even bigger than the kiwi that I had in that Mediterranean restaurant. And it's just, I mean, just to give you an idea, here's my fist. Here's the kiwi. I mean, it's a nice size. And let me tell you, from the time that I was driving from this place to the other bakery, to this parking lot, the aroma coming off this thing in my car was making me cray-cray. All right, nice crunchy outside. The char is like just right. This was made to perfection. Go ahead and take a bite. First off, nice crunch going in on the outer layer. Get inside, it's tender. You got your, you know, you got your ground beef and whatever herbs and everything else that they put in there to make it so good. Not overly salty, well seasoned. Has a bit of a earthy and rustic flavor to it. So good. Just the flood of memories that I have from having kiwi as a kid just flooded back in. And honestly, I'm not used to getting them this big actually. I've had kiwi in Brazil, which it does taste better in Brazil. I think there's a little more involved in just the recipe. I think it has to do with things like, you know, the water, the ingredients and stuff. But not usually this big. At least not your average like padaria or street vendor. But you know, what I like too is sometimes with kiwi, depending where you go, especially when they make them this thick, sometimes they can be a bit on the dry side. This is nice and moist. It's not gushing with juices, but it's definitely not dry. And it's 100% tasty. Little palate cleanse. So this one comes from Pombal Bakery, also in Bridgeport. Now, Pombal Bakery, it's a little bit different. It's Portuguese, Italian, and French. So you don't have that Brazilian element to the store. So it's a little more European-like. It's a smaller store, but really cute. You know, nice display. I mean, it's a smaller display, but you can tell that the items there are made in a very old school style, and I mean that in all the best possible ways. All I ordered from there was the PasteldeNata. This is a very lovely egg tart. I mean, look at that. Look at that gorgeous char on the top there. Look how flaky it is. A little char on the outside here. So it looks a bit different. I'm a little more used to the PasteldeNata coming from an authentic bakery, looking more like this. Check out that crust too. Look at that beautiful like kind of swirl they got going there. Yeah, very nice. The aroma is not as strong as the previous one, but still nice. Just you got to bring it up closer and take a whiff. This crust is definitely flakier and crunchier, but a little less buttery tasting. It is good though. Custard, not as creamy, but it is more traditional tasting. It is a little bit sweeter, but still not over the top by any means. I gotta take another bite. Very significant crunch. I bite into there, and the crackling from the crispier parts of the crust kind of reverberating in my skull. And it's tasty, I tell you what. Second bite, even better than the first. The crust is extra flaky and crispier, which is not a bad thing. Adds to the authenticity of the flavor profile. So the tart that I had from the previous bakery tastes more like a Portuguese egg tart that I would get in Brazil, like it was made there. It's got, it's a bit cream, it's a bit creamier, it's a bit larger, and not as charred and are sweet. But this one tastes more European to it, a bit more like a Portuguese egg tart from Portugal. So the crust is going to be flakier and crispier. It's going to have a bit of an old school flavor to it, definitely rustic, and a tad sweeter on the custard, but a little less creamy. And that doesn't make it better or worse than the previous one, just a bit different. So I encourage you, you have that kind of difference in your egg tart sources, where one's a little more classic Portuguese and one's a bit more Brazilian. You should try each of them because they each have their own merits and their own way of being delicious. The more traditional one from Pombal is a bit more on the eggy side and the flavor too. Again, not better or worse, just different. But quite honestly, if this tart had been the same as the one from the previous place, I would have been disappointed because I kind of wanted to hit both of those styles of flavors. And I wasn't sure I was going to get that, but I'm so happy that I did. And those are really good. I got this much left over, which I'm going to consume on my way home. But before I get home, there's one more stop to make. So since everybody decides to just close at the same time, I ended up going home instead. But today is a new day. The weather's not as nice, but my stomach is empty, so I'm ready for some more. And since it's a brand new day, instead of making one more stop, I'm actually making 2 more stops. This stop here is the Baker's Daughter, which is in Carmel, Hamlet, New York. It's such a cute little shop, not a very big dining room, lots of good choices, really friendly staff, or the one person that I dealt with right before. I bought 2 of these and I decided to bring some coffee to wash it down. So these are already made. They're cool because it's the afternoon. Nice aroma, a little bit of a sweetness. The scent that I'm picking up from these, like an American bakery would be, kind of like that. Give you a bit of a close-up. So there's a really nice glistening coming off the top. Crust is really soft and tender, but appears to be pretty flaky too, which I kind of like that concept. Let's go ahead and take a bite. This tart, very low on the egg part, very high on the sweet custard, not overly sweet, but sweet. It's like all custard. Definitely not a bad thing. Whereas the previous egg tarts can kind of serve as almost like a savory with a little bit of sweet type of treat. This one's more of a dessert type of treat. Like this would be really good after having a meal, as it's definitely like a good custard dessert. Far better for you than getting, say, a Boston cream donut. So the crust is not as crispy as the previous 2. It does have a little bit of crunch on the outer edges. It's more tender than crispy. It's got a nice flavor to it though. I would say with the 2 that I tried over in Bridgeport, they were a bit more rustic and traditional. This is a little more modern and maybe a bit fusion-like. I mean, the crust and overall is very American-like, but the custard is definitely a little bit more European. What I'm really liking, so far I've gone to 3 places. I'm getting 3 very distinct styles of Portuguese egg tarts. And while they're still traditional, they still have their own identity. And to me, that's just the best thing you want to do if you're serving your own, is you want to give it your own identity. You wash that down with a little bit of their coffee here. Pretty good for a damp day like today in the afternoon where there's a bit of a breeze. Makes it a pleasure to still sit outside. All right, final stop is at the International Bakery. It's on East Liberty Street in Danbury. Read lots of good things about this place, and what I didn't realize until I showed up here and spoke to the people that work here is that there's an International Bakery right next door. It's the same company. They just kind of go into each other. So you can come here, get some great international bakery goods, go right next door. They got a beautiful looking butcher shop, lots of cuts. I saw some bacalao, big bacalao display. Not used to seeing that in the United States. So therefore, it's like a pleasant surprise. And while I was here, of course, as per usual, I got my 2 PasteldeNata, and I picked up a nice cappuccino, and you just watched them doll it up. So a couple days ago when I was researching which places I was going to come to for making this video, this is one of the places I sent a message to, and they were so friendly and accommodating and encouraging to come check them out and show me a nice picture of what they had. And honestly, I just wanted to teleport over, except my cappuccino first. That's a really good cappuccino. Taking a look, of course, beautiful char on the edges of this crust. See the bottom, custard. Resembles more of the tradition that I see on Brazilian-made Portuguese egg tart. Go ahead, take a bite. Good, crisp, flaky crust. Bit of a butteriness to it. Nice crunch, more than just on the bite. You go in and chewing it, you get that continual crunch going on, just like crunch, crunch, crunch. On the custard, similar to the Rikopan, it is a bit savory, but it's also a bit sweet. A bit creamier than what you're going to get in a more European style bakery, and maybe a hint sweeter. But this is really good. I really like the ratio that's on the savoriness and the sweetness that's in this custard. It's probably the best blend I've seen out of the 4 places I've tried. Take another bite. Now, nice chew, really delightful crunch. The more I eat it, the more I'm really appreciating that crunch. Yeah, I figured the stuff was baked this morning, and right now it's mid-afternoon. It still has a nice sense of freshness to it. I mean, you can tell that was made hours ago, but still very flavorful and very tasty. Not stale or anything like that. The custard part, particularly the way that the sweetness comes across, kind of reminds me a bit, traditional Brazilian flan in the way that custard tastes. Yeah, I mean that in the best possible way. Really, really delicious. That's probably the best cappuccino I've had in Danbury. I no exaggeration. Like, it's not even close. It's really, really good. Really tasty. Smooth, strong. Not like it's going to make my hair stand up, although it does that just fine on its own, doesn't it? And one bite. Honestly, in all 4 places, I was met with good service, friendly service. But this place in particular, I really felt like a good mutual respect and connection with the staff here. Let's take another bite here. That outer crust, it's got the kind of crunch that you would expect. Like, if you're not used to these, if you think of it in terms of like an American apple pie or cherry pie, how when it's baked well, you get that golden crust on the top, and then the edges are really extra crispy. That's the same kind of effect that's going on in this PasteldeNata, and it's just a wonderful thing. You bite into it, that crunch is such a satisfying bite. You get into that savoriness that's part of the crust, and then it's met with that sweet, creamy custard. It provides such a nice contrast. It's like all of your taste buds get to celebrate in the same party that's going on. And then when you wash it down with this cappuccino, it's like the icing on the pie. So there you have it. 4 places, each have their own version of traditional Portuguese egg tarts. Depending on what you're into, if you're more into savory and more eggy, then you want to go to a place that's a bit more European. If you want it a bit creamier, a little bit sweeter, you want to lean more towards one that's kind of more Brazilian or American interpretations. Either way, all 4 of these places are terrific places to have egg tarts. And of the 4, I gotta say, the favorite is kind of a tie between the Rikopan over in Bridgeport and International Bakery, where I am right now. Both are fantastic. Both they have their own unique identity and their flavors, and both are very appealing both to my taste buds and to my sense of family and heritage and culture. What about you? Are you from the area? Are you familiar with these Portuguese egg tarts? Is there another place that I haven't reviewed that you think is worth trying? Even if I'm not going to review it, I should at least try it. What do you recommend? I'm always down for trying new places, of course. Thanks so much for watching Star Quality Kitchen. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and stalk. Laters. There's very few foods out there that with one bite brings me back to home and childhood and heritage and family. And the Portuguese egg tart, 100% one of those foods.